message and a word from your local CBS station.
CBS Sports coverage of the Texas 500 is sponsored by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. And by AT&T Net.working.
48.5 miles are left in the third annual Texas 500 here at Texas Motor Speedway. 200,000 Texans are staying in their seats. The Iceman, Terry Labonte, who's pretty cool about everything, has got them at fever pitch as he closes in on Dale Jarrett. And right behind Terry, broken shoulder and all, is Bobby Labonte in that Pontiac running in third. This is going to be a doozy of a finish. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Ken, it is, and the gap has remained constant between those three and fourth place Rusty Wallace. Each one of those drivers running as hard as they can as the laps wind down. But right now, Labonte staying 2 car lengths behind Jarrett, and Jarrett has not been able to get past Robert Presley and put him a lap down.
But you know what's the nice part right now? You see Terry Labonte there in second place. He's running as hard as he possibly can, and he is not closing in that much on Jarrett right now. It just seems that however they catch lap traffic, the advantage grows or decreases. But Bobby Labonte, I thought was the fastest car out there. He's kind of holding his own also. He's not closing in like I thought he would.
He's staying about 1 1/10 second behind the leader. But just sitting there, he might be just riding now, saving his tires, because they still have a good number of laps to go.
19 cars are on the lead lap net, and 2 of them are just in front of our leaders, Kenny Irwin and Robert Presley, and they are battling for position.
And they're running very good. Presley, you got to be impressed with him, because he's been out there in front of Jarrett ever since they made those green flag pit stops.
You know, the stage is going to get a little crowded, though. They are coming up on a lot of lap traffic just in front of this group right here, and that's going to have a lot to do with the outcome of this race, I think.
Could very well do it, because it is a difficult racetrack to pass on, and just as you said a moment ago, it depends on how you catch that traffic. If you can catch them going into a corner and get by them, that's good. But if you have to follow them into a corner and follow them through the corner, that's bad.
There are 4 cars there just in front of the leaders that are on the tail end of the lead lap. Jimmy Spencer, Bill Elliott, Kenny Irwin, and Robert Presley are the 4 cars. Right come the leaders. There's Spencer and the rest of that bunch. We're at 305 laps complete. Dale Jarrett is the leader ahead of the Labonte brothers and Rusty Wallace. Early in the day, Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon went out. First time he's ever been the last place finisher in a Winston Cup race, and will get few points here. Mike Skinner, Kevin LePage, Randy LaJoy, Kenny Wallace, and John Andretti are also in the garage here. Laps winding down, record number of leaders for this race. Who will be the winner? Jarrett's Ford, Terry Labonte's Chevy, Bobby Labonte's Pontiac, Rusty Wallace's Ford, as we get down to it.
Kenny Irwin pushed up coming out of turn 2, and the leaders went by him. That took one of the lap cars out from in front of the leaders.
And at lap 307, we'll take a final pause here from Texas Motor Speedway and come back and run to the finish. Dale Jarrett out in front. 312 laps complete, 22 to go. Dale Jarrett has lap passed Robert Presley, but he paid a heavy price. Look how close Terry and Bobby Labonte get to him as he goes past the 77 car.
Well, you see, he had to take the very bottom of the racetrack there. He did get by him there. Terry Labonte will come right along on the bottom side and close right up on Jarrett.
And he's closing up on him again as they come to the start-finish line. He's trying to make a move, but couldn't quite do it. Terry Labonte is there.
Bobby Labonte was the big beneficiary, closed in a bit on those 2. But right now, Dale Jarrett has 1 Labonte to worry about, and in Texas, that's more than enough.
Yeah, and as Bobby closed up, he caught the 77 car and had a little trouble there getting by, so now he's back about 20 car lengths or so.
Next car they'll catch on the lead lap is Jimmy Spencer. They'll move past the wounded machine of Jeff Bodine and then charge down on Spencer. 20 laps to go.
Mike, I've been in that second place car many times, and what you do right now when these cars are this even, what you try to do is make yourself visible in that mirror, trying to get his eye a little bit off so he'll make a mistake so you get the preferred line around the racetrack.
Do I recall a race where you once took the mirror and broke it off to show the second place guy
I wanted to make
something?
sure he didn't think I was watching him much.
Now, what I'm observing here right now as they come across the start-finish line, come up on Jimmy Spencer, is that through turns 1 and 2, where they're headed there right now, that DJ has been beating Terry a little bit. Maybe not this time, but the last couple of times, yes, he does. He beats him off of that corner, but Terry Labonte has been picking up on Dale coming off of turn 4. So, you know, one of them has a strong point on one part of the racetrack while another one has it somewhere else.
And now we get a little sniff of a draft from Jimmy Spencer back to Dale Jarrett to help pull him up to that lapped car. Now Spencer is racing the car in front of him, number 7 Michael Waltrip. That is a battle for 14th position. And Spencer goes for it.
And if those cars get up there side by side in front of the leaders, that's not very good.
Now what Dale Jarrett will probably do is try to time this where he catches these cars where he can make a pass on them at a good place on the racetrack, because as you can tell, they're running very well. When we say a lap car, that does not mean they're not running well.
No, those cars have been running good all day long. It's taken them here almost 500 miles to go a lap down.
Bill Stevens.
Interesting strategy. Terry Labonte is staying put. He just talked to Andy Graves, and since they took their tires 6 laps later than Dale Jarrett, their belief is that difference in tire wear will give him an advantage in the closing laps.
Ooh, look at Labonte up the outside of Jimmy Spencer here.
Yeah, that's a power move there, but he had to go.
Yeah, Jimmy moved down going into turn 3, let Dale Jarrett go by on the outside and stayed down on the inside. Michael Waltrip goes high, Jarrett gets down on the inside of him. So Spencer did let both of the leaders go. He didn't want to be a factor in this, the outcome of this race. Terry admired for that.
Terry Labonte might have had a run there, but as you heard from Bill Stevens, he's not looking to make a move on Jarrett just yet.
Michael Waltrip moves up out of the way and lets the 2 leaders go at it here.
Well, they can't get much closer without something happening. A car length apart for the lead. 15 laps to go. Good run for rookies today. Tony Stewart is 6th. Elliott Sadler in the top 10 as well.
Terry Labonte looked at a higher groove through number 1 and 2 there and closed in on the 88 of Jarrett. He seemed to get a great run off the corner. Now you see him experimenting with that higher line.
Yeah, he's looking up there to see where he can get the momentum that he needs to move past. Bobby Labonte still about a second behind.
Now what he may do there, if Jarrett is going to protect that lower line, he knows he's going to have to make that move. As he looks up there, you see him gain just a little bit there. If he can make that move work, he'll get more momentum coming off the corner to run him down the straightaway just a little quicker than a car that keeps a tight line off the corner.
Now he's running that car. Terry Labonte ran very hard into turn 3 that time. Now that's using those tires up, but the time has come. You got to use everything that you got. You can't leave nothing laying on the table now.
Dick Berggren.
I'm with Robert Gates. He owns the car that's in the lead. Robert, can you hang on to that lead?
Well, if he can stay in front, he needs that clean air. His car's a little tight. If he can hold him off and if he can get ahead of some of these lap cars, clean air will help him. But Terry's awful strong, so it's going to be a good race, I believe.
And it's been a good race so far, Mike Joy.
And Terry Labonte almost got into the wall coming off turn 2.
He did that. Dale Jarrett was coming out of the corner, and he's using all the racetrack. That's what you do when you're leading. It's your racetrack when you're the leader.
Oh, close! And Dale Jarrett just slammed the door in Terry Labonte's face in turn 1.
You're seeing some of the best racing that you're going to see in NASCAR Winston Cup racing as these guys go at it, a Ford and a Chevrolet. You got a Pontiac lurking back there not too far behind. Bobby Labonte has closed it down himself.
All I'm seeing right now is Terry Labonte making a move on the outside as they come by the start-finish line to take the lead.
Labonte gets the lead, slices to the bottom of the racetrack, and dives under Chad Little.
He saw his opportunity, took advantage of it, and moved right out into the lead. I don't think he can be caught now.
Well, Dale Jarrett has to dispense with Chad Little in a hurry if he's going to have any chance.
Yes, he cannot afford to get more than 3 or 4 car lengths behind because that draft can help him some, and he was not able to dispense of Chad Little that time in turns 3 and 4. That's going to hurt him.
Ned, just a few laps back we were talking, you use those lap cars or cars that you're racing with as a pick a lot of times to get an advantage, and that's what happened.
Dick Berggren.
Dale Jarrett just keyed his radio and told the crew it's just pushing too bad. The handle has gone away on number 88.
And Terry Labonte had to know that time when he came off turn 2 and almost ran right up the back of Dale Jarrett. The Jarrett's car was pushing. He had to be out of the throttle there, and Labonte knew where he could have an advantage. His father, Bob Labonte.
Big Bob.
Hey, and next week on CBS Saturday, Terry's son, Justin, will try to make his Busch Series debut in the Nashville 320.
Right here on CBS in Nashville, Tennessee.
Rich Bickle goes a lap down. He had been in the top 10 most of the day, trying to give that Beverly team its first top 10 finish. So Bickle, 12th, goes a lap down.
I'm going to talk for just a second. I won my first major race in Charlotte, North Carolina, my hometown. Terry Labonte never won a major race in the state of Texas where he was brought up. This is huge for this guy.
He is taking off.
Yeah, that car, as I said earlier, the longer he runs on a set of tires, the better he is in relation to the other drivers, in comparison to the other drivers. That car just doesn't slow down as much on those old tires, and as has been pointed out, Jarrett's car starts pushing when the tires get older, and makes a big difference.
And let's give Andy Graves a call also. Great job. They've gone through a transition where they've gone through different crew chiefs and all. Andy Graves has never lost conscience of what he wanted to do. He wanted to get Terry Labonte back in the winner's circle, and that car has been on the rail all day long.
It's worked very well. He got back in the pack one time when he made a 4-tire change. Others made a 2-tire change and got back about 15th or something, but he came right back to the front.
Andy Graves, another of those young Northeastern fellows that have come down here, made their mark in Winston Cup racing. His dad, Fred Graves, earned Ron Hornaday a Truck Series championship and was a great super modified driver and builder.
When they come back by the flag this time, just a handful of laps to go.
But let's don't give this race away. Jarrett is coming back. He's gaining some.
Last super speedway win for Terry Labonte, Talladega, 1997. 5 laps to go. One lapped car up there ahead.
I got to tell you something. What worked for Terry Labonte could work for Dale Jarrett. They coming up on a lap car, not too far away up here. If you ever break that momentum, that second place car will reel you in.
Oh yeah, if you have to back off for just a fraction of a second, can make a difference, and they will catch that lap traffic before this race is over.
That'll be Derek Cope and then Johnny Benson, who is the last car on the lead lap. Trouble front straightaway. Presley and Jimmy Spencer collide and slam into the wall. They had been racing hard for 2-3 laps, and they're in the fence.
This is going to be a race back to the flag as who's going to win the Texas race, I think, Ned.
It could very well end the race as they race back here because they might not be able to get this cleaned up in time. Caution is out. They might not be able to get it cleaned up in time for a restart. Here's Labonte coming off the turn, and he's going to get back to the flag first.
Terry Labonte comes to the caution flag at lap 331. 3 laps to go, and that could be the show.
Robert Presley's car had a lot of damage. Jimmy Spencer resting against the front straightaway wall there with a lot of damage to his car.
Now Presley comes by in a shower of smoke and sparks, still trying to stay on the racetrack here and finish this one under caution. Once he got lapped by the race leader, Presley, who now slides up and hits the wall in turn 1. The right front was already down on that car, and Robert was just trying to pinball it around here to get a finish. Presley, who last year finished 3rd, once he got lapped, then that locked him in a battle with Jimmy Spencer for 12th position. And for those 2 cars, it turned into mortal combat. Those 2 cars are wrecked, even though Presley's is still running. So we're under caution. They'll take 2 laps to go when they come around.
And Jimmy Spencer's car is still down on the racetrack. I can't imagine that they could get him off the racetrack and get it cleaned up that quick so they could have a green flag restart.
Well, Jimmy Spencer was injured last year at Indianapolis, and right now you see the workers there inside the car helping him get unhooked.
The fellow at the rear is trying to get the lid up to make sure there's no leakage there from the fuel cell. And let's show you as they came out of turn 4, two very hard-nosed racers got together.
Well, of course, they were already together, and the accident was happening. And Spencer, really a lot of damage to his number 23 Ford.
Jimmy was on the outside and Robert was on the inside.